It's now time for Remember When with Uncle John. John Guess, Ouachita County's resident storyteller and local historian. Sit back now and enjoy a walk down memory lane as John recalls the days of yesteryear in his own unique way. You never know, some of it might even be true. So here's Uncle John, along with his trusty sidekick, Kelly Blair.
Back on Remember When with Uncle John. Well, here we are at the mid part of the week. One of my favorite days because that means it is Wrestling Wednesday here on the Remember When with Uncle John show. What do you want to talk about today, John?
Oh, it's stump time today.
Okay.
We're going to stump the band.
Stump the whole band.
The whole band.
Not just the horn section, not just the percussion.
Do you know how I know?
How you know?
Because I got stumped.
Oh, wow. Well, if you didn't know, how are we going to know?
Our good friend Price, he put the stump on us.
He pulled one out
He pulled one out of the hat, buddy.
Gotcha.
I'm telling you, what would we do without Price?
There ain't no telling.
All that research, you know. I have never heard of this guy, but apparently he was pretty. He was pretty big deal.
Not a bad hand.
Otto Kuss, Kuss.
Never heard of him.
Went by the nickname of Pat. Pat Kuss.
Pat Kuss.
Born in 1911, he was a staple in the Central States Wrestling Association and in Stampede.
No, well,
he was in Central States from 48 to 52, and then went to Stampede in 1952. But when he was in college, he is the only Indiana Hoosier in history to letter in 2 NCAA championship teams in 2 sports.
Wow.
The only one in Indiana Hoosier history.
Well, there you go. That's
two sports, track and wrestling.
Big Ten territory.
And he played football.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Well, he's got good credentials, but I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never heard of the guy.
I hadn't heard of him, but I got to looking him up, and the guy was a workhorse.
Okay.
Good tag team, good tag team partner, but a better singles partner. Had several good feuds with all the big name stars in the 50s and 60s. You know, moved later on when he retired. He moved into refereeing and finished out his career refereeing.
Oh.
But the guy was calisthenics crazy.
I got you.
During matches and things, he'd do calisthenics, push-ups. Stayed in just excellent shape.
I wonder if that's where Bob Backlund got that stick from.
He may have, but the guy was just a workhorse. Somebody you could count on always where he needed to be when he needed to be there. Somebody didn't rock the boat,
right?
But you could count on for, he would do what was asked of him to do.
You say he won several singles titles?
Run several singles titles, mainly in Stampede.
Right.
But, ventured off to Texas, married a girl from Texas, and that's where he passed away in 1980. But he did wrestle occasionally for the Funks in the Amarillo territory.
There you go.
But, mainly in Stampede, Canada, the Maritimes. But double tough, in shape, slick as a greyhound. One of them people that even when he was refereeing could still drop on the floor and count to 3 and jump back up before anybody else. So, there's a lot to be said for somebody that's in shape.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been in shape for a while, but it's kind of a round shape.
Well, yeah. I can't get up now unless they got Pacific Crane and Rig in there to get me up,
There you go.
But
little hook and dolly system.
But I like it when Price throws me a curve there. There ain't too many of them I hadn't heard of.
Man, that was like the change-up slurve curve
That's
there
right,
or whatever. That was a knuckleball or something.
Never heard of him, but I'm glad I know who he was, and I'm educated on him. So if anything comes up with that in trivia, I know who they're talking about.
Well, there you go. I mean, Central States wasn't bad, especially back then. It was often the home of the NWA office.
Right.
So they had a lot of big names coming through there. So, I mean, if he was pretty successful in Central States, sounds like he had more success in Canada. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Never heard of the guy.
Yeah.
But, not a bad little piece of trivia there.
Absolutely.
Hey, that's going to wrap up Remember When with Uncle John here on a Wednesday. But But we want to remind you, we still got 2 more days to go. Full week going on here on the Remember When with Uncle John show. And we got some full sponsors to take along with us, including Sherwin-Williams House Paint, 836-8125. Call up Greg Bradshaw and say, man, I got to paint my house. He'll be like, you got this? You'll be like, nope, you got that? Nope. Well, get on down here. We got it all for you. And then you're all hooked up.
And we got ProMed Ambulance, 1-800-634-0436, serving Randolph, Lawrence, Ashley, Union, Dallas, and Calhoun County. Give them good folks a call and get signed up.
Now, what about if we want to have some more cards printed up that say Remember When with Uncle John?
I would call our good friend J.J. Lindsay at the Shopper's Guide, 836-3022. He'll hook you up on all your printing needs.
And that's not just rumor, folks. He hooked us up before. We know exactly what he's capable of doing in that. Also, be sure and find our podcast anywhere and everywhere that you find podcasts, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, GeoSavant, all of them, every single one of them. Just look for Remember When with Uncle John, and you're all hooked up. I guess we'll see you tomorrow, John.
And remember what Price told me.
All right.
Cuss, but don't cuss.
Don't cuss.
Otto cuss, but don't cuss.
Otto.
See you tomorrow, Kelly.
You've been listening to Remember When with Uncle John on Y95. This broadcast can be heard each weekday morning at 6:45 on South Arkansas's favorite station, Y95.